Welcome, welcome to our, I guess, sixth session on our Symbus video series. And we just want to, I'm Chris, and this is Marcy Sullivan. And we are here, been married 28 years now. And we've learned a lot, and we want to be able to share it with you. And Marcy is a certified life and relationship coach, and we have both been certified to help out, deliver Symbus assessments, and we want to help you with help your marriage be successful. So this is part, like I said, series number 5. Series number 5, and this is focused on gender differences in relationship and marriage. So we're here to learn, grow, and become better partners by being better understanding of each other. So,
all right.
Thank you for being here.
As usual, we have a question for the audience. And since we're talking about gender, this is a really good one. What would you like the opposite gender to know about your gender?
Oh.
Yes. So, ladies, what do you want the men to know about you as a woman? And guys, what would you like the ladies to know? Women need to know this about men. What could that be? I'll give you a minute to think about it. I know for me, as a lady, I definitely want my husband to know that I don't have to have a point to my conversation. There's not necessarily a destination. I just want to connect with you. And I feel connected when we are talking to each other, when we're sharing feelings in particular, which I know is a hard thing for guys. Chris, what would you say women need to know about men?
We like doing things. And sometimes we like fixing them, fixing problems.
All right. So what Chris just said, and a little bit of what I just said, kind of gives us a segue into what we're going to be talking about tonight. The differences between male and female, and how sometimes that can make it difficult to connect, maybe give a little bit of miscommunication, a little bit of misunderstanding there. So you can still have time to drop your comments in the chat. What is it that you think men should know about women? What do you think women should know about men? All right, our next section, Chris is going to take it away.
Okay. All right. So men and basically we'll look at how men and women solve problems. So basically, first of all, men want to fix things. They hear a problem and we want to offer a solution. So that's a good thing. Women often want to explore the problem.
Right.
They want to feel heard when you're communicating. When they're the emotions, they want you to hear the emotions and the thoughts, and make sure their thoughts are discussed through. Everything's explained very clearly all around.
Right. And the point there being really just to be seen and understood, and that's the main point. And sure, we can solve the problem, but understand me first. Don't I sound sad? Isn't that frustrating to me? Do you understand how I'm feeling about the problem? Then we can maybe get to how to fix it later. Maybe it doesn't need to be fixed. But yes, that's definitely different. And guys are natural problem solvers. If they're talking about a problem, they generally want to brainstorm some ideas and get some solutions for it, right?
That's right. And I think it's also, for me, I'm a verbal processor, so I like talking things out. And so to me, I'm just maybe expressing my ideas. I'm not trying to solve a problem maybe, but I'm trying to think about it, process it too. So there's other ways of thinking about that.
Okay. So what's the next part? We've got the exploring and the fixing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so an example from our relationship of a time when I may have wanted just to talk about it and you wanted to fix it. Can you think of anything like that?
I remember probably early on in our marriage, we probably did that a lot, and I probably didn't listen as well, for
Mm.
sure.
Mhm.
So I can't think of anything specifically, but
Yeah,
I know what happened.
nothing comes to my mind in regards to that either. However, I was thinking a lot of times women don't think that their husbands want to talk, they don't open up, but often it is because we don't keep quiet long enough to let them say what they want to say. We might interrupt or we might try to offer advice that wasn't asked for. Like in Chris's case, when he said he's just processing and he didn't necessarily want, an answer or having things solved. So that is
Also, just we're talking, discussing, and also that's a point of connection. And but also, you may need a point time to. A guy might need a time to set aside to go do something by himself to process the ideas or concept.
And that's actually what we're going to talk about in the next part in regards to men's needs. We're going to talk about 3 of them, and then women's needs, 3 of those as well. So, Chris, you want to share the men's needs?
Sure, since I've already started on it. Men need to do shared activity, and that's building through doing. So we're doing things. I think it's one of the common things where the dads want to do things with the sons, but also that as a husband, I want to do things with my wife, and I like to share the activities, working out in the garage, or doing the different hobbies and things that I like doing. It's fun to do them together occasionally, and we've worked together on doing dates together. One of our hobbies that I've done, it started with the kids, is Lego. I remember one of our date nights we've actually done a couple of them. We've done Lego date nights. We've bought a special set and we put it together, and that was lots of fun. So the first one is shared activity. The next one is to be admired. Appreciation and affirmation. One of the hardest things for guys to get sometimes, and especially if you know each other's love language, being out in the wild in the workforce, they don't. A lot of times people don't care about that. And so I tell you what, if you want to keep your guy and keep him focused on you, appreciate and affirm them, and that goes a long way, because they know they're going to. Us guys are going to go toward that.
Yes.
No longer no matter how little that is, we need to do whatever. It really does help. Another thing is autonomy. That's kind of what I started talking about a little while ago, was to have a space to think and to recharge or lead. Know what makes you recharge. I know for me, I am more of I lean toward the introvert, and so introverts need time to process and be kind of think things out, and that does help to have a little bit of time.
That's good. I want to back up to one of the things Chris said in regards to being admired, appreciated, affirmed. I heard recently that for men, I love you is thank you. Thank you means I love you. So ladies, look for the things to appreciate and express them. Don't just keep them in your mind like, oh, I really appreciate what a great job he's done with the kids, or how he took out the trash and I never even asked him to. And, any little thing, the more you want to see, the more you need to find it. I don't know if that was the right way to put it, but whatever you focus on will get bigger. So focus on the things you like and appreciate, then you will be seeing more of them.
And also, I remember years ago I'd heard when I focused on the family or something, talk about how men has 12,000 words a day, and women have like 35,000 or something. And when we come home from all day at work, may not be very talkative, but I tell you what, if you are filling in those gaps of affirmation and just affirming and appreciating, and then that will actually go help fill those negatives that we were had during the day.
Okay, good insight. Now we're going to talk about the ladies. Ladies, what do we need? Well, at the top of the list is to be cherished. What do I mean by that? We're talking about feeling like you are his number one priority. You want to feel loved. And how can a guy do that? Well, one thing is by him just paying attention and knowing what you like. If he knows that you enjoy a certain type of chocolate and he surprises you with it one day, that feels cherishing. If he knows that I really enjoy it when he puts his arm around me at church and he does that, wow, there you go again, feeling loved, feeling cherished. It also has to do with time, right? Sometimes a man will put a lot of effort into his work or maybe even into his hobbies. But when he makes a purposeful decision to spend time with his wife and makes it a regular thing, an intentional thing, then she is going to feel cherished by that. Okay, so that was number one. The second one is to be known. We kind of talked about that. That's one of the reasons we communicate and share our feelings is we want that emotional connection and we want greater depth in our relationship. So to be known, does he know what upsets me? Does he know what makes me happy? Does he know my worries, my fears? Do I know his? All of that is to be known. The third one is to be respected. Now, that one might surprise you because generally in a lot of marriage teachings, we hear men need respect, women need love. Well, I think all of us at some level do need respect. We need to know that we are heard, we are valued, and our opinion is considered, right? No woman wants to be walked all over. We know that, especially in Christian communities, that the husband is the head and the wife is to submit, right? But any loving husband is going to listen and value and consider what his wife wants. He's not just going to walk all over her. And that's what that means, to be respected. So the next thing we're going to do is, so talking about how unmet needs could create tension and how honoring them can build connection. So some of these unmet needs for a guy, what do you think, Chris? If one of these is unmet, how could that make tension for you?
Well, as I said before, sometimes you need time to think and process. So
right,
you need that.
Yes, and that's a good point, because a lot of times women, when they see a guy pull away because he needs that time to process, they get scared, because what is one of their needs? They need to be emotionally connected, and that feels like a disconnect for them. So when we can both understand that, and maybe the husband says, hey, I love you, I'm here for you, I just need to think about this, I just need to process this a little bit, but I will be back and we will engage on this again. That can assure the wife that he's not just checking out, he's not abandoning her. And on the other hand, women, don't be so insecure that you have to chase him down and to try to make sure that things are okay. Understand that he's a guy, he processes differently, and he will return with some better thinking, and after he's had a chance to go through that. All right, so we have some discussion questions to help you all process what we've talked about. The first one.
Okay, so what ideas did you hear that were new to you? Was there anything new? I hope you've learned something new. there's been, or maybe something phrased a little differently
Mm-hmm.
to challenge what you have been used to. That's a good thing. So, what ideas did you hear that were new to you?
Feel free to drop that in the comments, even if you're watching this on a replay.
Yeah.
Add whatever comments you thought were helpful or something new for you.
What general gender differences have you experienced in your relationship? That's another question.
Mm-hmm. So gender differences. Well, if you've been dating or married very long, I'm sure you've had some. For Chris and I, this is another thing. Men tend to compartmentalize things, and they can disconnect go from one box to the other seamlessly. Women, on the other hand, everything is connected, and it's hard to shut down one area of the brain and focus on another part. And that's just the way God wired us. And so we got to understand that about one another.
So, next question is, how can these gender differences cause conflict in your marriage?
Mm-hmm.
One thing, if you don't understand cherishing someone,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't understand, uh, yeah, well, cherishing or helping be respected, things like that, you're not going to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it will take time. Some things take practice.
Right.
And I know one phrase that we've learned a long time ago, and I know that I have, is we're on the same team.
Mm-hmm. True.
We're on the same team. So we're both working at it together.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, Marcy's farther along than I am, and it takes me a while to learn. And we're on the same team. You're not going to be kicked off the team.
Yes. Yes. I was thinking of another area where the gender differences can maybe cause conflict. If the wife isn't showing appreciation because maybe she doesn't even think that he's doing anything. Okay. I guarantee that they are always doing something good. And you may want to say, well, I shouldn't thank him for going to work because that's his job. That's what he does. Well, no, you should thank him. You should thank him. There's a lot of guys out there who don't go to work. So thank your husband for working hard. Thank him for just coming home every night. Thank him that he doesn't leave his clothes on the floor. Thank him for whatever you can think of, because when a man is not appreciated, he stops trying. He just does. Why would he bother if it's not noticed anyway? So that can be a quick downward spiral in a lot of relationships. So I really encourage you to look for the good things and thank your husband. And husbands, you can do that with your wives too. But I know it's a big need for a man to be appreciated.
Okay, last question. What steps can you take to celebrate the differences you both bring to your marriage?
Celebrating differences. Well, I know one thing that we learned a long time ago is women have this intuition, kind of, we're like the radar on the ship. And so one thing you can embrace and appreciate is your wife's intuition. She has a different way of looking at things. With a man, we can't appreciate their problem solving skills, right? Once we've had a chance to be understood, it's nice to know that they want to help. And that's something to be celebrated too, I think. Any thoughts on that?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I want to close us out here by reminding everyone that we're doing this again next week. Okay. We will be on session 6 next week, and that is about conflict in marriage. I also want to remind you that we have this wonderful SYMBIS assessment. Chris and I have done it. You've got 18 pages of things that you can learn about your relationship. And again, this is good, of course, for newlyweds, but it's also very helpful for those of you who've been married a little while and you're wondering why you're having these bumps in the road. What are these rough patches that you're dealing with? And this will give you greater understanding. So Chris and I would love to walk you through it. Please drop SYMBIS in the comments or direct message us to find out more information about that. And finally, be sure to like and share this video with a friend who might be helped by it. So thank you again for joining us.
See ya. Have a great week.